Wish this was an alcoholic beverage. I'm going to need the extra spirit to make these tough decisions that have to be made. But that is what we are about to do. It is. So at center, Miller can stay as a healthy scratch option. It's fine. He's not worth much. He might actually be half decent filling in. I think we are going to try Chance on the fourth line. No reason to not try it. He's got a great shot. Yeah, that's fine. So Misa, probably Misa still on the top line. He's 24 now. Misa, Cooley, Lume, Chance, not bad. I'll get back to the left in a minute. On the right, it's fine. Defensively, Dickinson, York. Oh, God. Hartman and Carpenter. Yeah, someone's got to go between Hartman and Carpenter. Oh, shit. So Dickinson's 25. Could go Dickinson, York, Hartman. I can't really play either of these guys, Hartman or Carpenter, on the third pair. I could technically say put Carpenter on the third pair and give him power play time to try and develop a little bit more. So then it would be Dickinson, Hartman, Carpenter, York, Bouchard, Kostopoulos. And then Panay could be dealt for value. I got to check what Carpenter's trade value is. That's the first step. That is the first step, is seeing, is it worth keeping the guy around or is it worth cashing out? Honestly, it's probably worth cashing out. York, Bouchard, Hartman, Kostopoulos. That leaves Dickinson, Carpenter. Yeah, so Panay, Carpenter. I mean, Ling is almost ready. We got this guy from Nashville. They were pretty pissed about that. First overall pick, and they're like, oh, we screwed it up. But they didn't. They got a good player. Okay, we need to do a little bit more research here. Defensively, Dickinson's still an RFA at the end of the year. That's tough to give up. But at the end of this year, he'll need a big money deal. But he will be an RFA. He had 51 points last year. That is tough to get rid of. I think it's got to be Carpenter. Right? Get the value for Carpenter. Or, like I mentioned, Dickinson, York, Hartman, Bouchard, Carpenter, Kostopoulos. Give Carpenter power play time, which could hinder the team in some ways. But hopefully that would offset him only playing third line minutes instead of second line. But we'll never get better value out of him than what we have right now. I knew this would be a tough decision. We knew this was coming. And then we got the whole left wing thing to sort out as well. All right, so York, Dickinson or Carpenter. I mean, it's Dickinson, Carpenter, or Hartman. It's got to be York, Bouchard. Hartman. Kostopoulos is still a third pair. Unless we wanted to run Kostopoulos on a higher pair, which means Panay is probably gone. Just given his value, that's still second round pick worthy. And I could find another depth role option. So we could technically go, like I said, Hartman, Bouchard, put Dickinson with Cam York. And then Carpenter on that third pair. If we're not really worried about development or trade value or anything like that. 7 players for 6 spots. I think it's going to be Panay that we move out. I think it is. I think we know our approach defensively this year. can we get for Panayi here? Preferably with picks. 2nd and a 4th from Dallas. Edmonton, 2 seconds from Minnesota. An elite level goalie. 2 seconds from Minnesota is quite tantalizing. Especially with how we've been able to weaponize picks. We're going to take 2 seconds from Minnesota. Send Panayi out west. So, sorry to Panayi. I honestly don't think you were that bad. But it was right for you to go. It was right. It was right. Core 11-24. Let's call that dude up. He can be the healthy scratch. So that is our defense. Left wing. Makala Wellwood. Somebody's got to go. Because I can't afford to run Wellwood on the 4th line. Somebody's got to go. Kuba, Perry, or Ullman. Fuck. Oh, it's not good. Now, the obvious shout is Kuba because of that trade value. Making $11.5 million. He's the obvious shout, but he is also the riskiest player to get rid of. Because if he develops, we'll regret it. But if he doesn't develop, we'll regret not weaponizing that value. He is a playoff stud. He is. He has been very, very good in the playoffs. There's Perry. He's been pretty solid. He's been okay in the playoffs, not amazing. 19 points in 35 games. And then there's Jörg Ullman, who about the same. Ullman went up the top liner this year. I hate that I have to choose here. Like I said, though, Kuba could literally be used to help us land almost anybody. Bedard's in the AHL because it's preseason, by the way. Like, legitimately, that could be the try to get Connor Bedard trade. You know? Outside of Bedard, is there anybody else? Cale Makar, but he's 32. Jason Robertson, but he's 32. Edvinson. McDavid's 34. Nighthawk, what's up? Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Boldy, Kaprizov, Thompson, Cole Caulfield. Wow, the Hughes brothers. Jesus. There isn't a single player outside of Bedard that I'd feel comfortable trading Kuba for. You know? Aside from maybe Quincy. Aside from maybe Jalen Quincy, another franchise level player. That might be the only guy. Maybe Beniers at 28. There's not too many players. Hornquist at 23. How good is this guy? He's a left wing, so that doesn't solve the issue at all. He's been okay. I don't feel right about trading Kuba, but I do have to legitimately consider it, because if he doesn't... Put it this way, this could be the franchise mode right here, literally, with two franchise-level players. If we don't trade Kuba, and he doesn't develop beyond what he's already at now, disaster. Absolute disaster. And if we keep him, Ullman probably gets traded, because he has to be a top liner. Otherwise, you hope that giving him power play time would be enough. And the problem is, let's be honest, Perry, Ullman, Wellwood, only one of them's going to be able to stay. Long term, only one of them's going to be staying. Presumably with Kuba being the other. This is brutal. This is brutal. The big trade options are either Quincy or Bedard. Perry's very well-rounded. It's got a great shot. Ullman's shot, even though he has gold 1T, Ullman's attributes, I mean, offensive awareness, shot accuracy is a bit better, but his power actually sucks. He's a better skater, though. And he wears the number 69. 35 goals, 62 points last year for Perry. 35 goals, 53 points for Ullman. Ullman had 8 points in 16 games in the playoffs. Perry had 10. Or we get rid of Kuba. A bit of a down year last year, but is a playoff performer. He's almost a career point per game. I hate this because I don't know. I need a bit of time. I need a bit of time to make that decision. I'm not sure yet. I'm just flat out not sure yet. So we know it's going to be Dickinson, York, Hartman, Bouchard, Carpenter, Kostopoulos, which is a pretty damn good defense. Goaltenders are going to be Harenstam and Javon Noonan, the free agent signing. And we will figure out of the left wings. But we know Wellwood's going to be on the third line. Again, I can't afford to play Wellwood on the fourth line for the sake of his development. Like, we need to play these guys where they need to be. Nisa Cooley, Lume and Shantz, Michkov, Salmonen, Weeks, and Clapperton. Honestly, I think we end up probably putting Clapperton on the higher line over Weeks because his potential's better and he's younger. I mean, this team's going to be gross regardless. And then AHL-wise, this team's going to be gross in the AHL. Got two great goalies. The defense is going to be pretty damn good. Fuck. Fuck. What do we do? What do we do? Who goes? I fucking hate this. I don't want to get rid of any of them. But again, it's not a matter of like, oh, I'm playing player within their proper roles. It's a rule. I'm doing that because it's best for their development. Trade Finder on Kuba, nothing. Trade Finder on Perry, nothing. Trade Finder on Ullman, nothing. Yeah, and I can't. Like, I could do Ullman, Kuba, Perry, and then keep Perry on the power play. Honestly, Wellwood scares me to trade him, even though he's so new. Like, I could hope. Okay, so could I theoretically? So Ullman, Kuba, Perry, and Wellwood would have to be on the power play, though. I don't know if that would be enough. I don't know if that would be enough ice time to make it worth it for him and to not stunt his development. But like Wellwood gets like power play. Wellwood and Perry essentially would have to get like power play and PK time. I am worried about stunting certain players' development. but we might be able to pull this off without making a trade. And I am only bringing this up as an option out of pure desperation. So Makila would get sent back down to the AHL to be a depth option if we decided that we had to make a change. As stupid as that is. So it would be Ullman, Kuba, Perry, Wellwood. Everything else stays the same, which obviously this team is gross. I'd prefer Michkov on the top line. I do need to double check our coaches as well. Defense, again, if we get everything set up as we prefer it to be, would be this. I'd still have to optimize power play. So like Carpenter would need a lot of power play and PK time. Perry and Wellwood would both need it. I don't mind running Shantz on the fourth line. But we could send him back. Depending on our coach's strategy of how much they like to play people in terms of the fourth line. But it is true, we could just play Bruce Miller. If I were to play Bruce Miller, it's not that bad. I'm going to look at coach optimization from what we have right now. I did sign too many coaches. We can let go of A- Strombo because we know we're not going to keep him. So Marita is a 59% scheme fit. He's been our coach the last few years. McCormick is a 62. Richard is a 56. Merritt is a 58. And Marr is a 60. Our best coach, in terms of fit with who we have, is actually Omar McCormick. Really quickly, what does the team look like? Okay, that -1's a little bit concerning. Okay, it's nice to know we could do that. Defense? Again, I'm not typically too afraid of a -3. It's still not great. It's funny that he technically has the best... like, the best fit for the team. I don't really see that. Marita doesn't really deserve to get demoted, so I'm not going to demote him. And I might regret that. But what we are going to do is fire McCormick. Bring up Marr as the associate coach. We'll need a goalie coach. Morgan Riley will be the head coach of the Toronto Marlies. You'll have Crosby on as the associate coach. And then it's probably going to be Brent Burns or Chris Tanev or Bo Horvat. Honestly, off of starting grade, we'll probably have it be Tanev. Let's bring Chris Tanev back. And we'll have the Marlies staff be all former NHLers to try and train them up to be actual good coaches. So we could have Horvat. Mobsky, what's up? Could have Horvat. Did someone sign Brent Burns? They did. So honestly, for shits and giggles, even though it's not a good fit, let's make Bo Horvat the AHL goalie coach. Maybe he can teach them how to stop deflections since he likes to score those. And then the NHL goalie coach can be Brennan Elliott. I don't know if this is going to work. Again, this is pure desperation in a lot of ways. And then the AHL idea, frankly, is quite stupid to get rid of high-quality depth coaching. But we'll do it in the name of fun. Our scouting department's good to go as well. Let's sim a couple of days. So Bo Horvat's on. Elliott said no. Okay. Tanev said no. Okay. Aiden Hill signed. Gotta be kidding me if these fucking guys rejected these contracts, though. Okay, come on. Let's not be fucking stupid here, Tanev. You would rather sit at home than be the assistant coach and the PK specialist. The goalie coach had big impact on goalie development. Sure. I haven't seen anything that would indicate that they don't. It's how they're supposed to work. Tanev, please sign. Back to goalie coaches. 2-year deal for this guy. Just sign the fucking contract, man. Come on. Let's not dick around here. It's literally the perfect role for you. Come on, don't be stupid. Don't be stupid, don't be stupid. Thank you. And thank you. There you go. Nice little trick of just shortening up the year. So, Korolev as a depth option. I think we will send... Actually, our coach, hold on. Runs 4 lines? Or 3? Rolls 3 lines. Fuck, though. If our coach rolls 3 lines, is it worth it for Wellwood? Fuck it. We're going to try out Shantz there. Korolev and Miller as the depth. Screw it. We're going for it. We're going for it. We're going for it. Call up Aiden Hill as the depth. Perfect. Really quickly. Really quickly. Unsigned goalies. Shovel Dave. Let's bring you on. Cool. Okay. NHL lines are going to have to be meticulously optimized is the best word for it. AHL defense. Who's the best option to play with O'Brien? It is Hiccups. Fine. From here, we want Ling up there. Cool. It'll be Ling and Roloff. It's all well and good. Schultz, Boudreau. Cool. That's our defense. That's set. I don't really care too much about the power play for the AHL. Just going to make sure that our prospects are in. Antropov's not ours. Okay. I got at least one spot to go out and sign somebody good to bolster up the AHL forward core. So we will look at UFAs, veterans, Jimmy Vesey. Oldest guy out there. Let's bring in Jimmy Vesey. Leafs legend, James Vesey. The legend. There we go. Jamie Vesey. Welcome to the team. Let's optimize these lines again. Let's get Jaskalainen out of there. Because why not? For Mr. VC. Now, in terms of potential, Denny is a medium 9. I'm pretty sure Ackerman's the only other medium 9. That's perfect. We want Ekholm and Larson on that top pair. From there, Makala's fine. Let's get Jenner up there. Perfect. Works for me. Works for me. Both wingers have better face-offs than the actual center. You'll love to see it. I want to see if it would add chemistry to the line. It did not. Cool. Those will be the lines this year. And again, top line with the golds. The goal is to just have them develop. Ekholm, Pedersen, Larson. Let's make sure that they all have some power play time. That's the only other thing we got to do. NHL-wise, still got to optimize this with the power play, the PK, to try and balance it. I have a bad feeling about this, to be honest. I feel like we could stunt the development of certain players, but I just cannot, at the moment, bring myself to get rid of one of these left wings. I just can't do it because it feels too early in their development, and I feel like I'm very much bound to make a gigantic mistake, and I would really like to avoid doing that.